Hello! It has been a few days since I last ran. I think my last proper run was on Tuesday. It is now Sunday. I did do like a quick walk on Wednesday, but that hardly counts. And it's been exactly a week since I did my first run. And I've gone from saying, how could anyone possibly start with a 2.5 mile run, to saying, I'm gonna try and do a 5k today. Obviously, there's gonna be lots of walking and it's quite a warm day. It's sunny and it's 18 degrees and I don't know if there's much of a breeze, so I'm a bit nervous about that because I don't do well in heat, and the whole reason I started running now is because it's getting into winter time and winter weather. So we'll see how we fare. I mean, this is quite light. This barely feels like it's on me, which is good, but I just want to go for it. I was gonna go for it on Thursday and then my grandma was home and I didn't. I have told my parents now. I told both my parents on Friday and I feel really good about that. And they both had exactly the responses I wanted them to have, which was like, that's really cool, I'm happy for you, and then moved on to the next conversation topic. And that's what I wanted. That was so good. And now that I've told them, I feel I can tell my grandma, even though she probably will make a bigger deal out of it, at least then she's not the one to tell them, I'm the one who's told them, so I feel better about that. So I'm gonna go. That's not true. I'm gonna do a warm-up first. And I'm going a different route. I'm going to, I think I mentioned on here about the park. I think that was in the last clip, the last video, but I found another park that is further away and a bit bigger, and I think I'm gonna head there and just run. I do think it'll be open today. I hope it won't be too busy. That's my biggest concern, because it's a Sunday and because it's sunny and relatively nice weather, probably the nicest weather we're gonna have for a while. I'm worried it is gonna be busy, but I'm hoping it'll be okay. And I'm gonna have to go to a main road, which like run along a main road, not for very long, but still, I don't really, like, I've really enjoyed taking side streets and, you know, not really having to deal with people generally. It says it's open, so that should be fine. But we'll see what happens. I'm gonna do quite a, maybe not too extensive warm-up, but certainly enough of a warm-up because I don't feel as rushed today. I mean, my grandma is coming back for lunch and I don't know what that means. It's now about 12, just gone, and I don't know what time she's expecting to come home, but I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go and do it. And I will probably talk to you after, all red-faced and sweaty and hopefully having done a 5-kilometer run. I hope. All right, I'll see you later. Hello. As I said, red-faced and out of breath, but my goodness, I am so proud of myself. I still need to keep moving, hence why I'm doing this, because I've literally just walked in. But I did 45 minutes of running, 5.7 something kilometers, maybe even 5.8. Insane! Insane! I have been running for a week. This was now my 4th run, and I have ran 5.7 or 8 kilometers in 45 minutes. I am so proud of myself. It was warm, as I had anticipated. There was a bit of a breeze, which was nice, but the sun was definitely beating down, and it was warm. Like, the breeze wasn't particularly cold, it was just a breeze. I am so proud of myself. I am so proud of myself. Right, I'm gonna stretch myself out, cool myself down, probably have a shower, and then I'll come and talk to you properly. But I did it, my goodness, I did it! Hello, I had a really lovely long shower, definitely longer than necessary, but equally it's the first time I've showered directly after running. Usually I either eat something, which I should do, or, you know, wait till the evening, because I usually run at like 5 o'clock, 4, 5 o'clock. I say usually, it's been 3 times, but all 3 times it's been around the 4, 5 o'clock mark. So I just wait until after supper to then shower. And it was just so lovely. And obviously this is also by far my longest run. It's probably almost double what I've been doing the last few times. So it just felt so good to be in the shower. And then I've also just been on my phone for the last like 15 minutes scrolling, doing nothing. Let's talk about this run, because yeah, let's talk about it, let's unpack it. One thing I will say, I don't know if I mentioned this in last week's video, I think I did, I think I mentioned it a lot of times, that I'm not well and I'm still not 100%, you might be able to hear it. And the way it's gone for me the last week, I've had it for about a week now, is it started in the throat, then it moved to the nose, and then I think it was yesterday Friday, it went from being in the nose, this is gonna sound really gross, but to like not really affecting either part of this anymore, but back in the throat. Like, it was not throat, as in there was a lot of mucus there. And you can hear there's still something that's not quite right. It's dark, I've just realized the light's off, hold on. There we go. So I don't know if that's the reason that now, it wasn't so much a problem during the run, although again I could notice I wasn't breathing, like there was just something that was stuck, and so it wasn't as pleasant running. Not that I would ever think running is pleasant, but we'll get back onto that. But I can feel now, like since I came home, my neck, like around here, is quite sore, and it feels quite stiff, and it feels like when I'm talking, and if I were to try and sing especially, that it would just like, I don't know, there's like tension there, and I don't really know, like I've been trying to, I even, you know, naturally tried to stretch it out once I got home, but there's just something that's, I think it's just the remnants of the illness. So I have no idea what I said when I came home, because I walked through the door and I was just in shock at how much I'd run. Obviously, I went into today thinking I'm going to do a 5k, or at least I'd like to. But I think by the time I'm trying to think how far I got. I think it was maybe one lap around, or maybe even half a lap around the park. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get to, maybe it was 2 laps around. Anyway, at some point in the park, quite early on, I was like, I don't know if we're going to make it to 5. I think what made it feel more frustrating for me was that the lap around the park, it looks like it's quite big, but I think it's only about half a kilometre. So I thought I would only have to do 3 laps because I thought it was going to be about a kilometre, but actually I ended up having to do, I think, 5 or 6. I don't know, I didn't count. But what was good about it was that there were a lot of like points that I could work towards, either say I've got to run until this point, or to say I'm going to start running once I reach this point. And that did help me to have like a goal to reach to, because otherwise I'll just stop running if I feel tired. But this just pushed me that little bit further. Before I went out, so first of all, I did not sustain myself well before the run. Like I had 2 pieces of bread, 2 pieces of challah, not even like hearty bread, 2 pieces of challah with chocolate on it, like Dutch flocker, which is pure sugar basically. So definitely not what you should be eating before a run. And I also didn't drink that much water, which I only really realized again around that same mark, I think, where I was starting to say I don't know if I'm going to make it to 5, because I could feel like a headache coming on. So far, knock on wood, it's actually not materialized, and I have been drinking lots of water now since I've got home. But it was definitely the kind of thing where I just need to be more conscious of what I'm doing before a run. And I finished breakfast around 10:30, and I started warming up for the run just after 12, because I'd looked up how long do you need to allow sort of once you've eaten before you start running, and it recommended 1 to 2 hours, and that was 1.5 hours until the warm-up, and then by the time I actually left it was even longer. All that being said, I feel very proud of myself, and I can't believe what I've achieved this morning today. I think I mentioned this when I got home, but sorry, I'm looking at my phone, I'm trying to get the app up. I did the 5 kilometers in less than 40 minutes, and that was an aim, that was a goal, and I was really proud of that. I didn't actively have it as a goal going into today, but I did look up how long does an average 5k take, and it did come up with 30 to 40 minutes. So I kind of had it in my head that I would probably be just over the 40-minute mark. I thought maybe 45, 50. Because again, beginner runner here, absolute beginner. And I got to the 4 kilometer run in I think it was 35 minutes or around that mark. And so I was like, right, I've got 10 minutes to run 1 kilometer. That should be doable. I think that was it. I wonder if I can see. Look at this little graph, by the way. Can you see that? That big yellow line is from today. Amazing. Oh no, it was around 31 minutes apparently. Oh, that makes sense, because then I had about 10 minutes. So I had just under 10 minutes to get to 5 kilometers, one extra kilometer. And I was like, that feels very doable. So at that point I left the park, because I knew it was about, no, that's not true actually. I think I was halfway through a lap, so I had like half a lap to go, and then I left the park. And basically, I had quite a good speed coming to the park in that first kilometer, because there's quite a big hill that you go down, but obviously on the way back, you go up that hill, and that's a lot less fun. So that was in my 5th kilometer, me trying to climb up that hill. No, sorry, in the 4th kilometer heading into the 5th. So I'm sure that slowed me down. And then at that point, I went a slightly different route. And I just thought, I'll check how close I am, because I would like, if I can get it under 40, that would be really cool. And I was at 4:85 kilometers, and my time I think was 38 and 20 seconds or something like that. So I had just over a minute, I think. And so I was like, I'm just gonna run. I'm just gonna run and try and get this into the, into the 40-minute mark, before the 40-minute mark. And I ran, and it felt like the longest stretch of running. I kept thinking, I must, like, it's 150 meters. I must have got over it by now. Why is my phone not making the noise yet to say you've done another kilometer? Anyway, finally it does it, and it says time. And the thing is, in Dutch, your time starts with the minute, as in 38 is like 8:30. So I think it said 9, and I was like, oh, that's great. And it was 39 minutes and 52 seconds. But my goodness, I got it under the 40-minute mark, and that's all I care about. Who cares about the 8 seconds? But it does prove to me I really did need to run in that last little bit, because otherwise I wouldn't have made it under that. And then at that point, I just did the final stretch home. So in the end, I think that the whole run in total was 5.73, I think. In fact, I can check that. Yeah, 5.73. My average tempo was 8. I don't know how that compares to last few times. Total run time was 45 minutes and 52 seconds. And yeah, the rest is just showing me the map. But what's nice, what's really cool to see is that it's gone from, like, definitely my first 2 runs they had a lot of green. The way they show the map is like, red is, I think, running fast, orange is, it's gradient from red to green, with red being how fast, like the faster you run, and green being the slower. And now it's really predominantly red and orange. Well, there's no green, so that feels really good. And in fact, consistently, my average tempos, the slowest kilometer I had was 8 minutes and 35 seconds, which I think is still faster than the last few times. I think I've had like 9 minutes. Oh, but I'll tell you what happened. It paused like 2 or 3 times during my run. The measurement just paused the app. So actually I probably did do closer to 6 or closer to 5.8 kilometers. My fastest run point at one point was 4 minutes and 44 seconds. That feels really fast. So that's annoying that it paused for a bit and it didn't quite catch everything. Where do I see the little... Oh, yes. So what's really fun is on the app, I think I've mentioned this before, it shows sort of the spikes. It shows your tempo your whole run. So I think for my first run, I had like 3 spikes of running and the rest was all walking. The second time, I think I went 4. The third time, I think I went 5. And now this one, I can't even count how many. But you can see it's much more consistently like that. And like, it's not up for very long. Like, you can definitely see I'm doing sprints rather than like pacing myself, in the sense of running consistently at a slower tempo. But I feel like this works for me. I would like to get more consistent with the running side of it, because I am doing a lot of running then walking. I did try today to shorten the amounts of walking and do more running, which obviously it reflects in there. I did, and I'm really pleased with that, because there were definitely times where I was like, I would happily just walk the rest of the way now. Like, I am tired, but even if I only do half a minute of running, it's just that stamina of like getting your heart, the fitness. It's all got to do with the fitness. I don't really know how it works, but I know that by doing that, by not letting myself rest all the way before I speed up again, it's good for me somehow. So I think I want to work on running more consistently and also for longer periods of time. Like today, I actually checked what time I stopped running after my first bout. Now, I sped off when I started running. I didn't think about pace at all. And I stopped running around the 600 meter mark. And I was a bit like, I think the last few runs I've been getting closer to a kilometer. I don't know exactly, but I think I've been getting closer. But then I thought to myself, I just had this realization as I was walking then after that when I was in school, they always made us do 100 meter runs, 200 meter runs, 400 meter runs, and I think 800 meter runs as well. And I remember never, ever running the 400 meters fully. I would always have to stop and walk for quite a while. So the fact that I can get to 600 meters running quite steadily as well, as I say, it wasn't slow, I was definitely going fast, is amazing to me. And I'm curious to see where we're going to go from here. But I'm so chuffed about that, because that's basically 6 kilometers that I've run, almost. And I just feel like I could probably run, in theory, I could probably run the 10 kilometers this week. I wouldn't be very good. I wouldn't be very fast. I'd be walking a lot, but I feel like I could do it. And that feels good to me, because I thought it was going to take me weeks to get to 5 kilometers, and now I've just done it. And I've done it in the average time of a 5 kilometer run. So I think I'm going to say something here that I've been thinking about saying and then not wanting to, because I think it's really pushing myself. But I've got so much time between now and the 10 kilometer I'm planning on doing that I feel like I can try and achieve it. Basically, according to many different online sources, the average run time for a female for a 10-kilometer run is 1 hour and 6 minutes. So initially I'd said, right, my goal's going to be an hour and a half because I feel like I'm such a beginner, that seems realistic. But now I think, I don't really want to say it, but I think I'm going to make my goal an hour. If I can run it under an hour, that'd be so cool. And I don't know, I really don't know if it's realistic or not for me to say that. Because initially, when I sort of thought about this a week ago, when I started thinking about doing this 10K, I was just like, as long as I get over the finish line, I don't care how I do it, I don't care how long it takes. But now I feel like I'm gonna get to run a 10K sooner than I think I was expecting to. Like, I reckon by the time I leave Australia, which as of when I'm filming this is exactly 2 months, no, just under 2 months, but I reckon by the time I leave Australia, if I consistently run whilst I'm in Australia, I reckon I could do a 10K there. I might choose not to. I might purposely like just do 8K or 9K just to like tease myself. But I do feel it's realistic. I do feel like I could reach a 10K sooner than February, certainly. Definitely by the end of the year, as long as I keep running consistently. So if I can practice doing 10 kilometers, the more I practice it, hopefully the faster I can get, and hopefully I can get it under an hour by the time it gets to the end of February. We'll see, it's a high hope. But I also think pushing myself by having a time limit helps me to, like, it encourages me to run more rather than walk more. Because that's what happened with the 5 kilometers today. By that last stretch, I was very happily walking, and then I just thought, no, I need to run to be able to get it under the time I want. So I think that's what we're going to be aiming for the big day. My only concern is I feel like this feels like such a big achievement, and I don't know if I'm gonna hit any more big achievement milestones like this again. Like, maybe when I run my first 10K, that will probably be a big achievement. Because as I say, I do expect to be doing that before the main run. But like, I don't think 7 or 8 or 9 even is gonna feel like such an achievement now, which is annoying. Maybe if I can get my 5 to a half hour, that would be cool. That would be very cool. I feel like that's realistic as well. Well, we kind of need to if we want to aim for a 10K in 1 hour. Things to think about, things to work towards. I need those goals because otherwise I will lose the motivation before it gets to February. And I feel like 10K in an hour is definitely a risk to like put that as a goal. It feels like a tough goal. Anyway, I've been chatting to you for quite a while, and I, as I said, haven't had much food today, and so I'm gonna have some lunch. I will see you all later. Bye. Hello. So this is actually going to be a week, I think, of no running, coming off, almost doing a 6K. But that's because I'm going to Italy in a few days, and I'm working, basically today's Monday, I'm working Tuesday, Wednesday, and I leave very, very early on Thursday. So I think it's highly unlikely that I'm going to do any running this week. Also because I need to keep my leggings for Italy. So I think it's going to be hard to run. But what I'm going to do today, and the reason why I'm talking to you, is I'm going to do a dance class. And I was kind of tossing in my head between, do I just go for a run or do I go to a dance class? And the reason I've picked going to a dance class is because, first of all, I think it's probably good to be also using other body parts and moving in a slightly different way and, counterbalancing a little bit the running. And even things like the warm-up and stuff, it's just different, and I feel like that's going to be good for me just to have something else. And it's an hour long of moving. Obviously, you take a break here or there, but on the whole, it's a full solid hour of keeping up, moving your body, having that stamina, using, cardio. So I do think that will be good as well to sort of see where I'm at, see if I've improved, in the last week, but also having that stamina and doing it. So I just wanted to come on here and tell you that I am doing something today, even though it's not going to be a run. And I will probably see you next week, unless I end up going for a run between now and Wednesday. One thing I forgot to mention is that last night, it's so funny, Instagram is so quick at picking things up, and I've suddenly started getting all these like advertisements for running, and all the reels are about like running or training or exercises or whatever. And I don't really mind it, like it is something I want to be actually seeing more of and getting inspired to do. But one of the things that came up was this thing that said first London free 10K run, and I thought, and it was in December, and so I thought, that's interesting. And because of my run yesterday, I do kind of feel like I don't need to wait until the end of February to do a run or to do a 10K. So I've signed up for it because it's free. And I think because it's free, everyone signs up and then they tell you whether or not you've got a place, I think like a month later. So that might be something sooner to work towards. And then, so that would be mid-December. And I think my goal for that would just be to run a 10K. And then from there, I could build onto getting it under an hour in the February one. I feel like that could be a plan. So we'll see if anything comes of that. But that could be really cool if I end up doing a 10K before, like 2 months earlier than what I'd expected. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Hello. I didn't mention this on here. Well, maybe I did. I signed up a little while ago. So first of all, sorry, let's just chat a little bit. As predicted, I haven't run in the last few days and I don't expect to run at all from now on. But I did do 15,000 steps on Monday, so I feel like that counts for something. And today actually I ran up and down a lot of flights of stairs, so I feel like that counts for something. But the real reason I'm on here is because I signed up for the priority access. I do think I spoke about that on here for the London run that I want to do, the 10K. And I'd read it that it opens on the 23rd of September, so the Monday that I'm still away, I'm going to be in Italy then. But then on Instagram today, I saw that they posted something about it opening up for priority access people today. So I immediately checked my emails, and actually, maybe it's because I was so early, like I was within, I think, a few hours of it being emailed out. But it really wasn't as expensive as I was worried it was going to be, because I didn't love the thought of the fact that I would have to pay money at all. But I've got what's called a fundraising position, which I didn't realise that would be cheaper, but it was something I wanted to do anyway, because I do very much believe in the charity. It's for Cancer Research UK, and I've had a lot of family members affected. Well, maybe not a lot, but I've definitely had family members and people sort of in my outer circles affected by cancer. And I very much believe in, doing more research and finding better medication and all that. I probably will speak about it more. If I can, I'm going to link the donation link down below, because it would be really awesome if people wanted to donate. They want a minimum target of 175. I'm going to aim for 250. I don't know if I'm pushing it, but as of when I'm filming this, it is just under a month until my birthday, and I kind of want to just ask people to donate for my birthday instead of getting me gifts. It's something I wanted to do last year as well, to ask people just to donate in my name instead of giving me a gift, but no one listened to me. I did ask for my camera, so like a lot of people contributed to that. But I also said for Christmas, like for my friends' family who sometimes get me Christmas gifts, I was like, can they just donate to charity instead of giving anything to me? And they just did not. They didn't want to, but I'm hoping that having a fundraiser set up anyway maybe will encourage more people to donate. I mean, we've got 5 months, 4 months. I need to count how many months it is. October, November, December, January, 5 months. So I feel like it should be doable to get £250 in 5 months, like surely. And by the time you're seeing this, I mean, it's probably going to be like late October, early November maybe. So maybe we're already sort of halfway to that goal. I don't know, I have no sense of it. I haven't actually set up the link yet, but I will. And if you do want to just even contribute, £2 or £5, anything, £10, £1, like, well, I don't know what the minimum is on there, but any amount would be awesome. And that's all I wanted to share with you, but I was very excited. I couldn't believe I've actually booked my place and I've got it all sorted and I've got a fundraiser sort of half set up. As I say, I still need to look at it, but we're doing it, we're committing, we've paid for it. That's all I wanted to share. Bye.